Hey guys, Mikas here for another episode of your live electronic music tutorials, guys, episode 356. Yes, I say it at the start of every episode what number of the episode it is, just in case you need to know, maybe not, because you just click on this because it is basically an ambient film score kind of piece that I'm going to create strictly today with ArturiaAnalogLab from Arturia. It's a different episode because, you know, usually I use internal plugins from Logic, of course, because I'm dedicated to crafting music with very lot of simplicity in the process to output as much creativity as possible. Well, lately I ended up on this analog lab thing on Arturia's website, and I tested it, and I actually have it for a long time. I bought the V collection. Oh my god, that must be like 20 years ago, guys, and I still use it. The license still works. Thank you, Arturia. This is really good. So basically, this is a lot of synths that have been put together, and some are even compilation, like multi-timbral of different synth, and it's really cool, and it sounds absolutely gorgeous to make a film score. I think this is amazing. And of course, the sessions are all about creativity, guys. So basically, I make this track that you hear right now in real time with you guys, at least the composition of it. Like the composition mean, I'm gonna lay down some idea, play some keys. That's why I now record the keys here so you can see the keys that I play and where I'm going with it, even the clicking on the keyboard, which is annoying, I know. Anyway, so basically, you see what is happening, you hear mainly what is happening, and in the link below, there's a template to the track that's playing right now, which I finish later. So basically, this is the first step of the creative process, which is creating the ideas, you know, like for a film score, usually there would be a main line. Maybe it's a piano kind of, or maybe a synth or something that has those 2-3 keys that are like the main theme. It could be like maybe Star Wars or something, or it could be Rocky, it could be like James Bond. This is an example of like a really themed film score that comes back into the scores, guys. So I made a lot of those scores. So if you want to check in the link below too, there's going to be a link to the whole collection of scores we have, which I made, I'm not going to say hundreds, but quite a few of those, and people seem to love them because they've been used on quite a few shorts and quite a few productions all around the world. So you have to check this out, guys. Am I done? Yeah, I think I'm done. Let's go. So basically, from absolute scratch, except that I have the synths loaded there, and I will turn off the monitors because I'm going to do this in the headphones, of course, because if not, there would be like an enormous feedback loop, and you couldn't hear anything at all. Okay. So this analog lab thing, I didn't know there was two versions. I have the Pro and the normal, I guess. I don't know. Okay. Usually I use the normal one, and now I've seen there's a Pro. The Pro seems to be interesting. I'm not even sure if the patch are the same in both of those. I know I paid for this like a long time ago. And I'm sorry, I might be getting a bit of coffee. I need a little bit of, yeah, here we go. Okay, so this one here, I loaded a pad that is appropriately named CinemaScope. Absolutely, exactly what we are going for here. You can hear it. So I am personally a big fan of E when I make music. Somehow, for me, starting a song in E really works. So that's why I'm going to start with like a pad here, so I have to look around the microphone. I'm going to do. And then I'm going to do some additional beauty. Basically, we get started just like this. I mean, you know, so some people, I think some people, they tend to maybe, I'm not going to say overdo it because it's a bit offending, you know, but simplicity, I think, in music is probably one of the hardest thing to achieve. Once you get to a certain level, you become good at doing things. But then if you want to keep it really simple and have the right key and keep the idea, and I think expand on this idea that you have, not go too far and too complex, because most of the people, they don't understand this, you know. This is not what works for them, you know. I just actually went to see a concert last weekend, classical music concert with a crazy pianist, Sergei Babayan, which is an insane pianist. And he was amazing. However, the first part was orchestral, and it was so sad. It was so, I mean, the majority of people could not understand. I felt it. I felt the sadness, which is not what I want to feel when I go see a concert on Friday night. But somebody decided, that so they're gonna play, for an audience that's probably not that educated. Maybe there is a small amount of the audience educated, but I think when you create music, you want to address everyone, not just a certain group. I think this goes for all genres, like basically. So I think what I will do is I will keep this, but I will put it in time. So we were kind of in the middle of this. Let me see where I was actually here. I'll put it here because it's quite. I'm not gonna time it perfectly for the rest, but just for this starting point here because it's just a pad anyway. I'm gonna give myself a bit more volume. Ooh yeah. This could be a good intro, a good start at least. I'm just gonna leave it there to run. Gonna feel what else are we gonna add to that, and actually I already loaded one that was here in Analog Lab. There was some cool, I think, piano there. Let's look at what we have here. Some pianos. An organ could be good depending on what. I think our pad here is a bit too loud. And then we're gonna go back. Whoa. I'm gonna randomly chance it to see if we're lucky or not. Ooh, I like this. I would like to. No, not quite. Not sure how to browse these is maybe not that obvious. Oh, there's some brass on there. This could be good. So sometimes, guys, I'm not gonna comment because something comes and I'm like, I want to capture it. I mean, I think you will understand that. Like this, I like this sound, so I was like, okay, this I can do something with. And then I wanted to input it as soon as possible so I don't lose this idea. So not all of them are actually equal. The keys differ a little bit here and there. And this is what I want. I'm probably going to tweak it a little bit because there's a little bit of a... Oh, I think the length is a little bit off. Yeah, I'll be okay here with 2. Or maybe... Okay, we're good here. So I like this. Where's my... So when this is at the forefront, my keys are not working. This is not excellent. Okay. So that does work quite well here. There's a bit of a click thing, I don't know why. There's a bit of a movement thing here. Woo! Let's put a bit of verb. So to make it a bit more dynamic, I'm gonna go right away because we're not building the track yet, of course, but you know, to make it less boring to listen to me work, I'm gonna cut some of this and I'm gonna have only the pad in some parts. So, and I think I'm gonna EQ this just to really get the top end, to really not to get any leftovers from the rest of the frequency. Okay, we're going back to Analog Labs. Here, I'm gonna go into types. I'm gonna go into bass, and I want like a kind of like a chunky bass pad kind of thing to just push a little bit some hit. Whoa. Close, but not quite. Can I do it with the... Ah, it's better here. Ooh, this is beautiful. This is my idea, at least for now. So it's a little bit weird that when I have this in the forefront, it blocks my logic control. So this is, I guess there's a lot of shortcuts in there too, so they take over, but it's a little bit odd for Logic that it does that. Well, I'm gonna quantize it. So this is good, however the timing is a bit odd because it goes in the middle there, so I will basically cut it to the timing of the track. here, and then I bring that here, so we have something more, something let's say even. I will take only those two parts here. Oops, no, I do not want to do this. I want to make it just the length here, please. The length. There's a bit of an excess here. Logic doesn't seem to be very happy. Let's work a little bit on that. Maybe this one here could be a bit more here. And I think it's worth exploring some other sounds for this. I think that the initial sound is good, but if you watch a few of my episodes, you're gonna know that I like to explore. So once I have an idea, like this idea there is an idea. I mean, it might sound a bit weird now, but I wanted to input this, you know. I just try to go really deep inside with the flow and try to create something, not really have anything in mind, just let things come, you know, just to channel whatever the output's gonna be. And after this, I like to go a little bit further by, you know, let's say look at some sequence, try to do go and pick only the bass because it's not. It's quite cool, but not for this time. But wow. Pretty cool. Woo! That's really cool. Not for this track, but I definitely hear some things that I will use. I like this better as an example. I'll probably cut off a little bit more. I like the tone better. Let's do a comparison. This is a DX, this is more of a Moog. So let's say we cut the first element we did, and then now we go a little bit more with this rhythmic thing, and we're like, okay, now we have a different perspective on what we could add there. I'm gonna continue with AnalogLab. I think I'll likely make the whole track with this. I'm gonna try the other one, not this one here, this one here, the Pro thing here. Actually, I'm gonna open the filter. Oh, there's more here. Oh my god, okay, there's some vocals here. Oh yeah, let's see what does this sound, what is this about? Come closer. Kind of cool, future. So this is some phrases. Robot kind of voices. Nice. Okay. Having fun here.
Humanoid must not escape. Humanoid must not escape. Humanoid must.
Okay.
Do you know my secret? 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 Do you know my secret?
I kind of like that. It's a bit creepy. Not what I was looking for, guys, but you know, it's worth exploring. Oh, I didn't record that. Record? No? Doesn't want to record? No? Oh, this is what I told you earlier, guys. I have to go on there and do that and do. So, a little bit of weird vocal. And then we're gonna see what is in there. That doesn't really. I have to be honest, the effects are not extraordinary, so I would go probably on a send here. Do the first bus send here, and I'll go into delay designer, pick something a bit weird. Let's say complex filtered, which has got some. Now we're adding to the track, it's interesting. I'm gonna put that here and there to continue into our exploration. I'm gonna continue here. I mean, I'm not familiar with this synth, this is why it's a bit slower than usual. But there was plenty of things here. There's some sound effects, some sequence, some piano. I'm gonna go to the piano. Maybe find something cool to add. Well, okay. I should remove the. Wow. Oriano. Definitely needs some reverb send in there, so I'm gonna add myself a little reverb of my own fashion, of course, which is reverb here, silver reverb, stereo, and then my own grandiose here, which is a full-on huge room, but I have to go. After this, I think this could be cool. Is there a key that is jammed there in the middle? That's weird. I think at 20 here, I'm gonna pick something and then I'm gonna refine it and do something with it. Hopefully that is. Split. Split. And then start. And then here, and cue it to start. I don't want this, I want to Control A and then Q. Oh, this is when quantize ruins your melody. That doesn't work at all. Here, there was something cool. Being quite selective. I mean, I'm trying to progress into the track as much as I can, at least in the ideas of the track. Weirdly, again, the quantize. Try some other piano. Oh, I cannot even. So as I continue, I'm gonna change this, obviously, because while this is great, we don't really need this often. So I'm just gonna create a little bumpy here. So that if we bring the pad in, it should be interesting. So I'm gonna do the secret and then this. So let's bring the pad in. I think I would go almost a whole octave lower here to get the really the chunk. Better. So I don't think there's any one. Oh no, I pushed save. I don't want to save it yet. It's saved it anyway. So I don't think there's any, how can I say this, just single way to do a thing like a soundtrack like this. I think I have some element, there's some things missing. Like I'm thinking where am I going with this? I would need some texture. So I think I've seen that actually in this Analog Lab here, some effects thing. I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna go lower, sound effects. I'm gonna see what we have. Okay. There's no ambience, right? No sequence, no organ. All. That I will use the same root key. I'm gonna make it very long. I'll put it in the back. I'm not gonna take the whole stack here, not the whole chord, but just the key, and then I'll go higher. So what I will do is I will take also these keys from that. I'm gonna try to put some emphasis on them, you reuse them in another context, let's say here, but with of course a different synth. I'm not sure if it wouldn't be better to create something new, actually. Continue in the effects realm here. Really nice pattern in there. I don't know if it's random. I didn't expect some type of percussions and thing like that in there, but this is really cool, so definitely gonna add that. I think we're getting closer to make sure that the timing is right. I'm gonna stop this secret thing because it's a bit annoying. I'm gonna stop this here. Expand a little to try to record something else here. Bit like Vangelis in there. me that I missed the first. This is so weird. And now I have a little too many windows open, so I cleared that out a little bit. So I missed the first key, which was this one. Which is the most important, and somehow it didn't go in there. Try another row. What did I need to record again? My first bit. I think this one's good. Yeah, that's good. This is. We're not scoring a film just yet now, so let's just keep it to something great. Input the idea, and then in the next phase, of course, I will go a lot deeper into the elements. So we can bring back a few of the other elements now. With the effects here. So guys, this is gonna be it for episode 356. Well, it's not it because I will put on much more work, but I have some elements, ideas. So I work until I feel the substance to what I do. I think we have substance now. I think it's a bit Vangelis-y. I think it has some texture, has like different element that will progress, that I will really make into a template. It's gonna be in the link below. And until next time, guys, may the sounds be with you.